I think we can agree that's a pretty good reason for her to say no. Now, I was not showing her the beard photo to be like, well, I can do a better beard than your boyfriend. I just wanted to point out that the fuck he's got a better beard than me. He's got a better beard than me now. Which I'll grant him. But, no, fuck his bullshit. Ringless. So, hands up again. I see you like Batman.
Yeah?
I also like Batman.
Okay.
I like Spider-Man better, but I think Batman is cooler than Superman.
True.
I also think DC kicks Marvel's ass when it comes to animated TV series.
I agree.
Movies, not as good, not bad, yeah, but yeah. Remember the old 80s Marvel films before they got special effects budgets? Anyways, point being, how would you like to get coffee and or drink sometime and talk about the relative merits of the Marvel and DC media releases?
I am flattered I'm currently seeing somebody, but if you would like to go for coffee sometime on a friend basis, I'd be okay with that.
I appreciate that. So that was a no. That was a very soft no. That was a, bro, we talk about comics. So, step one. Thing number one I want to mention about that was very kind of her. She softened the blow. She's like, she communicated that she saw value in me as a person. Super great. There are guys, correct me if I'm wrong, who respond to that with, friend zone. Let me explain what friend zone means. Friend zone means you're expecting that with enough coins of human kindness you can put into the vending machine of a woman, sex will come out. That's not how it works. Yes?
Under no obligation, just because you would like me, does that mean I have to sleep with you?
Hey, bingo! I would like you guys to think of the most horrifying woman that you've ever seen. Like, the most sort of like, oh, my boner turned into an innie, sort of like, would never bang that. Or dude, right? Or bear. And imagine that they came up to you and said with obvious romantic intent, dudes, hey, you want to fuck? And you were like, no, but you seem nice, we could be friends. And their response was, all right, and they spent the next year and a half being friends. Apparently, they legitimately took your offer of friendship and said, okay, let's run with that. And so you guys hung out, and you played video games together, and you went to each other's birthday parties, and I don't know, you were like, hey, I made like 8 extra Danishes, here, have some. And they're like, oh, thanks. Oh, I made an extra cake, here, have some. And then a year and a half later, that same person that you have absolutely no sexual desire for goes, so hey, I still like you. Do you want to bang? And your response is, still no, actually. And their response is, God damn it! But I've done all these nice things for you. Why don't you want to fuck me? That's what complaining about the friend zone is, okay? Complaining about the friend zone is objecting to someone else not finding you sexually attractive. There are women who, God help them, only find dudes over the age of 45 attractive, and there's nothing at 25 that you can do that will make them want to fuck you. You can look like goddamn Batman and have you swim in money and have like cheese grater abs, and she'll be like, I'm sorry, the pudgy 45-year-old dude with gray hair just does it for me. You can't solve that by being nice to her. However, if you're legitimately her friend, she will maybe introduce you to some of her friends that do find, let's be honest, pudgy weebs her thing. You might want to eat less cake and work out, but if you're honestly their friend, because they're not obligated to find you attractive. Okay, hands up again. You notice how I've been through 1, 2, 3, 4, 4? 4, and I'm still like, oh, so there's a hand up there. I've definitely got a chance with this one who's sitting so close to the guy she came with that they actually moved their desk. Hey there.
Hi.
I like bunny girls and anime and maids. And I have a considerable amount of social capital in this room right now. I thought you were attracted. How would you like to get drinks?
Too late.
I was not expecting that.
It's on video.
Like, legitimately, yes. Boom! Who here thought that that was going to happen? That's right, bitches! No, not you.
Honestly, Dan, she does seem like the type.
Reverse harem.
Oh, reverse harem type. Okay.
That's fine.
Be more clear. Thank you. We will. Am I going to have to like wrestle him with that? I was going to say olive oil in order to make it. Okay, cool. Thank you. I will. Well, you know my face right now. We will. Where's my goddamn phone? Connect after the auction and do drinks at some point this week, maybe.
No. I can't do it here.
We're going to pause. We're going to pause. Go back here. So let me tell you, it's an amusing story about this May. I did this same bit in May. And I went through, I think it was 3 before I got a yes.
Yep.
And it was a 22-year-old cosplay hottie in a...
Wasn't it like a Princess Jellyfish or something like that?
It was, yeah, Black Butler maid costume. She looked great. And she was like, yeah, this is totally cool. Because I'd set up this environment where she was not only allowed to, but encouraged to say no. The bear making the hiker feel safe. I didn't set this whole thing up so that I could hit on chicks. That's a side benefit. But this is the sort of environment you're looking for or trying to set up. And she said yes, and I was like, totally cool. Here's what happened next. Ladies, pay attention. And no fault to you, this is just a really good point to make this point at. So the 22-year-old, I was like, okay, cool, this is totally awesome. Do you want to go to the zoo? Because I've been meaning to go to the zoo for fucking ever, and I've got Sunday afternoon free. If we both have it free, we should go look at the animals. And she was like, that sounds totally awesome. So we text back and forth, not like constantly, but like 1 or 2 messages a day, like, hey, what's up, and blah, blah, blah. I did a clever thing at work that is hard to explain, etc., etc. You guys taking off?
We're coming back.
All right. You've got an hour.
Okay.
Worked great. Sunday morning, I'm helping, so I've cleared my Sunday afternoon, and guys, I'm so fucking busy. I'm training for not just a marathon, because I've already run a marathon. I'm like, my time was shit, but I've done a marathon. What's the next impossible thing? Walt Disney World has a thing where you run a 5K, the next day you run a 10K, the next day you run a half marathon, the next day you run a marathon. And anybody who's run a marathon is like, fuck that. And I'm like, that sounds impossible. Let's do it. So that's what I'm training for. So when I say my schedule is busy, I had a buddy ask me, dude, how are you doing that? I'm like, great, super busy. What are you doing? Working and training for a marathon. That's 80% of my time. I guess I shop for groceries otherwise. So I cleared time out of my schedule because we had a date. Sunday morning, helping my buddy move. Tragic story, he needed to move some stuff. Not a body, furniture. And as we're shifting the last of the furniture into his storage unit, I get a text from the 22-year-old cute cosplay girl that I've been in regular communication with all week. And she says, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to flake. And I'm like, oh, okay, is there a problem? Why? Like, I don't need any more details. No is no. I'm not gonna pester you. But she's like, I can't do this. And I'm like, can't do what? She's like, you're too old for me. And I'm like, I announced that I was 38. So I mean, I get 22 to 38. That's a gap. But I know a number of women who are in their mid-20s who are like, I refuse to date men younger than 40. Like, that's just their deal. Like I said, anybody's allowed to like whatever they like. But the point was that she waited until a half an hour before the date. There was no, we're going to reschedule. There was no, oh, well, I have 3 or 4 days. I can just shift my schedule around. I'm not losing any time. There was, I have a half hour before the date, everything's set up, and boom, no. She knew this. She knew the age gap on the Sunday that I'd asked her out in a big crowd, but she knew the age difference. She knew the age difference was a problem for her. Obviously not for me. I had no idea she was 22, but I'm like, whatever. First date is a first date. It's not marriage. She knew she had a problem with it. She knew she was uncomfortable with it. She said yes. Women, if there's this essay called Fuck Yes or No, where if your response to somebody isn't, yeah, let's do this, just like, don't give it time. Don't give it 3 dates and see if something starts, unless that's how you notice you roll. You start things up, then things get good, and you're solid. If you start stuff and you're like, and it keeps being but you keep trying to make something happen, don't fucking do that! Also, if you live far enough out of town that it's going to be a problem. If you are hesitant about stuff, if you're hesitant about his weight, his height or lack thereof, his body type you don't find super attractive, his hair or lack thereof, his beard or lack thereof, his tongue length or lack thereof, his income or lack thereof, you're allowed to not want to date guys that work at 7-Eleven. It's not shallow to be like, I don't want to be giving you rides everywhere. Like, not the sexy kind, the car kind. You're allowed to say no. By all means, fucking say no. Like, you're allowed to say no. The problem is, if you say yes, and you're not sure, you're wasting your time. Because it's not going to fucking happen. If you're like, he is 40 pounds heavier, then it's just like, his fat comes over his dick, it's going to be like fucking raw dough. It's just flip, flip, flip. There's going to be this suction noise. No. But I'll give him a chance anyways because he seems like a nice guy. No! No, if you date long enough, you're going to fuck. If you can't fuck that, don't go on the first date. Be like, look, I think you're cool, but you need to like eat 40 pounds less cake and maybe lift 40 pounds more weight. Like, I'm sorry, that's just my deal. He's going to react poorly to that. Most guys will. Maybe not. I didn't. One time I heard that. Long story. But if you're not going to be able to do it, if you're hesitant, if you're like, yeah, because guys, we're like, oh God, women never say yes. Because clearly, I mean, up until that point, they weren't saying yes. Women have a social, cultural thing where I know 2 women that asked out their boyfriends. I know way more than 2 women who are like, fuck, I like that guy, I hope he asks me out. Do you see how that isn't the solution to the problem? So I think women should feel more free to ask guys out, but I understand that they don't feel free to ask guys out. Guys, you need to understand that their context is, there are some amazingly hot chicks out there that nobody asks out because everybody assumes she's got a boyfriend. Or, like, I know this amazingly hot cosplayer who's not really in a relationship, but never get asked out because A, she doesn't leave the house much, and B, she's like a little hesitant about it. But like, literally, she's like 8 to 10 out of 10 depending on your fetishes. Like, she's a solid 10 for me. I'm like, God damn. I would drag my balls along a mile of broken glass to have her kiss the tip of my foot. Really not that much, but... and yet she doesn't get asked out because she never leaves her fucking house because all she does is work, cosplay prep, and play League. Which is totally cool. I'm like, that's fucking awesome and hot. But she doesn't, nobody asks her the fuck out. So when a guy goes, hey, do you want to go out sometime? Her response is, holy shit, this never happens to me. And she responds, yes, way faster and more emphatically than maybe she should, not necessarily, because her experience is a lot more like guys than like girls is. But then 2 or 3 days later, she's like, I'm not into this guy. I'm into the fact that somebody actually asked me out, but I'm not into him. And then she has to go, I'm sorry. She ghosts him, or she says, I'm sorry, this isn't working. And what happens is the guy who has invested time, maybe money, definitely time, emotional involvement, he's like, what did I do? And he didn't do anything, right? But she said yes when she should have said no. So I want to encourage the women, if you don't feel that you can, if you're like, say no. If you're like, maybe, go ahead, say yes if you want to. But if you're like, I can see some concrete reasons this would not work, like I live in Guatemala or whatever, right? Like, I live in Guatemala and long distance relationships are not okay with me. Like, it doesn't matter if he has cheese grater abs and $100,000 a year income or whatever. it's not going to work out. You might like him, but the distance is an issue. Say no, for the love of God, say no if you don't want to say yes. Anyways, where do you live?
Leduc.
Which is still in Alberta. How far away is that?
Not too far.
Right outside. Yeah, it's fine.
That's like a 2-hour drive. Come on. I meant, come on, that's not a lot of distance, not come on, date me. Because that would be bear noise. The hiker's going away. Bear noise! No, don't fucking whine. I don't think Leduc is a problem. You do, no problem. Okay, so I've gotten no, yes, wait, no. That's 5. Clearly I am not an 8 to 10 out of 10. Or I've been hitting on girls with boyfriends. Hands up again, anybody who I haven't asked out, women only please. I have dudes that are willing to be asked out by me. I'm like, yeah.